Here I be, back. He is back again. See who shows up. Well, hello, hello. Welcome to the weirdness. What kind of things shall we talk about today? All right. What's up, I know? What's up, Neem? What's up, Alive and Awake? It's dark over there? Well, because Puerto Rico is going to be south of me, and so the sun would have just set really far to your west. So it's just right there. I wonder if the moon's out. Is the moon out right now? Let me see. Let me see. Yes. See? Here. So there's that thing. Where is it? There's the sun. See the sun? Right there? There's the sun. And there is the moon over there. Is it? You see it? There it is. Yeah, sun and moon out at the same time. You can see the moon, and the sun just jumped away. So the moon to you is probably what? It's probably to your. I guess it'd still be to your southeast. Yeah. I'm groovy. I'm groovy, Plato. So yeah, that is a picture of the heights of the pyramids. It's a very interesting one too, because there's a bunch on the bottom that are pyramids that people don't even know about, that are like bigger than the ones that, especially when you really get into this mud flood shit, man, and you start realizing some of these pyramids are like, once they start digging down, the pyramids are even bigger than you think. And there's some that were just so buried, but they didn't recognize how big they could have been. And there's a lot in South America that are really, really big. What up, Crow? Southwest, yes, that makes sense. It's southeast. I mean, what is there to think about them, man? Plato, their shit's crazy, man. Like that connection to the Tartarian Empire and the star forts and the mud flood and all of that is all linked up together. I did a video a little while back, just kind of touching on the Carolina Bays and star forts and things like this, and all the ancient architecture. I think it's the most important thing people could research right now. I mean, ever, really. I think it's more important than the Earth being flat. I think it's more important than that, because it's so recent. The history is so recent, and it's so obvious to see that I think it's like proving to someone that the Earth is a realm and it's flat. People ain't really trying to hear that, but you could show someone buildings and be like, see where that is. You could show anybody that's an architect or an engineer or has any idea at all of how to build things, that once you start to see it and you notice it, you're like, holy shit, every city has the same exact thing going on right here. So the mud floods is a huge, and I think that the connection to the star forts is a big thing too, because a lot of mud floods affected the star forts. What's up, buddy? Yeah, they remind me of either snowflakes or ninja stars too. Yeah, the crows is where it's at. The always be hanging out. You can. What's up? What's up, CJ? Yeah, it is quite golden. Well, thank you, sir. How you been, man? It's your lifelong mission to astral travel. You can't just have people fetch shit for you. Yeah, man. Once you can do it once, it becomes it's very it becomes it's kind of like fasting. After you've done it a couple times, it's easy to do. So, as I put out there before, I think the easiest way to start doing is wake back to bed, and yeah, a lot of these binaural beats are helpful too, but realize that those sounds are going to take you to specific places. Like you could have there are some that will take you out of body, but it's put you on a certain frequency bandwidth that it might not be the best place to go. I've been in some astral realms or got out of body using binaural beats and things that were like, nah, I wouldn't send too many people there. Mary Curry. I think that the pyramids and most of these buildings, the larger ones, I think what they did was they used hemp. When they're always put together, and it's like, oh, how did they put these together? You can't even get a piece of paper in there. They put these rocks that are so not looking like the other rock. No, they used concrete and lime, it appears. Or concrete and lime. They used hemp and lime. And it basically turned it into that stone, which you can build any way you want. It's lightweight to begin with, and then you hemp is everywhere, and you use that, and you make your stones out of it that way. And there's obviously you can add things to that. You can add concrete to the mix. You could add add crystals to the mix, piezoelectric crystals. I mean, so I think that when you really get into it, it's probably using crystals, maybe some limestone, because that's piezoelectric as well. And again, a lot of these were just covered. Their last layer was covered in limestone, so that piezoelectric charge that it was using. And the capstone, it's come to my attention that it was most likely not gold or silver, but electrum, which is gold and silver. It depends if you mine it yourself. If you can find it, it's usually gold, silver, and some copper in it. It's all three of them. So it's a very interesting substance. You can make it, but electrum is said to be that might have been what a lot of the capstones and the top of the energy machines. Look at the buildings, the big Tartarian buildings that now have become our churches and temples and things. They were using a lot of what do they use? I think mercury around the outsides of it, and then gold or electrum or some sort of like platinum. But I mean, they probably weren't using platinum, but they were using something to help basically gain etheric charge in the building. And the electrum seems like what the element was. And the half-buried cube makes sense to me, Mary Curry, that it might actually be like that, and then there's underneath it might be another one of them, just inverted, which is quite a possibility. How would anybody know? No one's dug down there. Or maybe they have and they just don't let you down there. Will Johnson, are animals just servitors? No, I think each species has a soul, like a soul group to it, because they all have different spirit. You can tell some animals, think about it that way. Some animals don't like other animals. Like even some dogs don't like other dogs. I mean, I get it. Some of it is definitely trained behavior because they're domesticated and they take on some of the qualities or attributes of the whoever's training the dog. but there is also some underlying things that I think, yeah, I think they have soul. I think they have a soul, and I think they have spirits for sure. I mean, you take on their energy if you know, if you consume them, which is good, bad, or indifferent. Alive and Awake, have I done a video on moon gazing? No, I don't think I have specifically. I would say, I'd make it very simple and say it's the same way as crystals work. You don't charge your crystals in the moon. You take a crystal that has been used that might have energy or frequency within it that you want to pull out of it. And so the moon cleans it by extracting energy, and then you charge the crystal in the sun, or you charge it using the energy of the sun. One is, you know, the sun is actually giving the energy, and the moon is removing it. So you cleanse or clean or clear a crystal, and so your body, you can pretty much do this a similar thing. You'd be extracting something from yourself, which is again good, bad, or indifferent depending on what you're getting rid of. Yeah, Plato, I agree with you on that. Yeah, I'm definitely on board with what you said there, with the shape of them and what they were doing. Every shape is gonna, especially if it's made out of the right material, it's gonna be doing a lot to the space, to the environment. But of course, and meaty. You talk about my dog. He looks like a gecko. He's saying meat wad. I hear you on that, Plato. On what it looks like, it definitely it appears. To me, it appears as though it's what we're looking at is not the actual sun. I don't think. I think it's on the toroidal field, or what you call the dome, or what I think it's projected from somewhere beyond that to that, and that's what we see. I don't think it's sitting there hovering in the sky the way most people say it. I think maybe, but these are things that we, you know, take a little more looking into, but. Considering my theory on what stars are, which, you know, you can look at the planets and you realize those planets are the sun and moon from another realm. Well, the stars are the same thing, but I think they're just portals to get to a realm somewhere. Like, if this table is the infinite space we live on, and we're in a tiny little right here on the table, and then we look up here into what our sky is, and we see these little things of light. Those are basically fiber optic cables. I'll just say that. Fiber optic cables to another sun that's another pond over here, and that you could travel through out of body to go to those places. Because I've been to places that I'm like, where am I? Where I went through like a warp tunnel. I didn't understand what it was, but after having done it and thinking about it, like, maybe that's what it is. You can blast through one of these stars and use it as a portal. You can use trees as portals too, I've heard from a few people. Mary, I didn't understand what you said at the end there. Could be interesting. Anyone have leads on sea root bark? I don't know what that is. Well, thank you, CJ. Well, I love you too, man. What do you think the best structure for a house would be? Yeah, cone seems about right. Cones, domes. Pyramid shape obviously seems pretty good idea. I mean, even look at a teepee. A teepee is it's basically a cone. I think a cone is an upgrade. Yeah. Those would probably be the best. I mean, boxes don't seem to be the best by any means. Biodomes, you know, these kind of things, yeah. Bucky Fuller's ideas and designs on housing structures. And I think he said, and materials are obviously going to be organic and inorganic materials, and using them in a way to create your house being a piece of organite or a Faraday cage. It's the same thing inverted. A Faraday cage will hold and contain the energy inside, where it depends on what you start with, whether it's the inorganic or the organic material. So you can have a house, you can produce a house that is not only a piece of organite collecting energy, but also Faraday cage protecting energy. And it wouldn't be too difficult to build at all. Crystals I'd use like nano crystals and mix it in with cement and hemp, and then basically stack that in layers with different elements. I think a cone would. I think what you'd want the cone to do, if you've ever seen like a juicer, say the word, masticating juicer. It's slow and it's kind of like a cone, and it has that spin on it. Or think of a cone or vortex mathematics, like the spiraling. That would be the shape on the outside. Think of the Kremlin. Think of those buildings and what the tops of those buildings look like. It's kind of like a spiraling cone dome. That's what's up. Yeah, Plato, I hear you. The thing around the sun, have you ever seen it where around the sun it looks like, you ever know whenever you're loading a program on Google or whatever, and the circle shows up, and then there's a thing going around it? I see that on the sun whenever I stare at the sun, where you see the outside which starts spinning around it. It's interesting. What's up, Torrin? Yeah, the sun is a portal just as the moon is the portal, just as I think all the stars are. I think it's easier probably for people to use the energy from the sun and then jump through star systems because they're farther. Well, I don't know if it'd be easier because it's just the sun is so bright and so much that it depends. You know, I guess it depends on how long you've been meditating, what time of day, things like that. But yeah. Oh, okay, I hear you, Casey. I think there's a lot of other things you can find that are going to have similar qualities, but you don't need to go that route. You can find a lot of alkaloids that are perfectly easily obtainable and legal, that you could get off of. You could get online right now and find some. Anything iboga that has that in it, that alkaloid. There's a bunch of them, but there's a lot of plants that have that in it that you could have just as good of a journey without all the extra finding all of the elements for, say, making ayahuasca or whatever. There's plenty of ways to do it. All you really need is an MAO inhibitor and then the proper alkaloids. Because you have to think of it this way, that shamanism is not privy to just people in Peru. You don't need to go to Peru to go on that journey. Like, plants are readily available all over the world that can be used in the same way. It doesn't have to be, well, it has to be this plant and this plant. That's just some old, that's just where it was most commonly seen. But there's shamans everywhere using different plant substances. It's kind of like I always talk about superfoods. Like, every food is super. It just depends on what you have a problem with or what you want help with. Every plant has the capacity to offer you something. So it's like, why you want to get goji berries if all you really need is more sodium in your diet from celery because you have weak bones or something. So yeah, in the same way, all of the other higher level alkaloid plants you can find everywhere. I mean, and some of, but most of the time you probably, researching them online, you probably end up having to get them shipped from somewhere else. But nonetheless, you can find them. Hey, Torin, did you get your bus yet, man? Did you really get it already? And when you get it, are you gonna get something that's already kind of done, or are you gonna rebuild it, or are you gonna? Because obviously, dude, if you need any help, I used to rehab, like I built houses and worked on cars for a while. So just throw that out there. Cubes suck. Yeah. I think there's some reasons to use boxes in some things, but not for the most part. No, I think that everything is curvy in the world, and it's always more comfortable. You want curvy ergonomics. I mean, ain't nobody want to be grabbing on square boobies, right? You know what I mean? If someone got a square ass, that's not comfortable. It's like everything should have a little bit of a little curve to it. Yeah, the square. Well, there it is. Play-Doh. There you go. So what we do now is we circle. Once you square something, then you circle it, and then once you circle it, you square it, and then back and forth and back and forth. And you're building up those levels of expansion and protection. Expansion, protection. The box is protection, which gives you the four angels or the four angles, the what you call cardinal directions, and then the circle contains that once you put the circle around it, and you go back and forth, and you can look into those kind of drawings and notice what's going on there, and then you can add different things within that are adding, multiplying, or changing the energy. It's really good for sigils. Yeah, and that square box thing, if you look at a house, in the basement where the electrical panel is, panel, meaning pan energy, alternating current, pan, like the goat god, the box has a bunch of breakers on it, and the most common breaker you find, which is the thing that allows energy or currency to go through, is called a square D. Square D. Because a D is half of the sun coming over the horizon, and the square is what contains it. So it's showing you half of the energetic system, the electrical system, and it's boxing up half of the sun. Johnny, no, I do my best not to talk about people. If somebody has a specific set of ideas, I'll talk about the ideas. But all in all, no, I know who he is. I don't, whatever floats his boat, man. I mean, I think it's up to everybody to take a look at and listen to if it sounds right and that's what they're doing, and they look like they're, if it works for you and it helps you, then fucking good. If it doesn't, it doesn't, So I don't know. I don't really, unless somebody says something stupid about me, then, and even if they do, I'm not even going to attack them. I'm just going to I don't even attack. I'll just speak on people's ideas. And I think that you either speak about people, which are past tense, live in the past, talking about objects, which are present, or you're talking about future ideas, talking about bigger ideas, which are always in the future of growth. So I like the ideas of talking about the ideas. So as far as why your boy Wiley Brooks, that's that dude that was sun gazing, right? Skinny, older, melanated cat, right? I don't know. Carbon fiber TP would be pretty early. Hey, Torin, did you see the new gear? See the Ouroboros? I don't know. I've never used it, so I don't know. But from what I've heard, yeah, it's gonna take you in that kind of realm. Yeah, at Torin, the little inlet on that is when I was talking about Saturn Moon Matrix, it's like the Saturnian realm, which would be two realms outside of us, which it seems, this is what it seems like, which would be Hyperborea on the outside. They're the actual Hebrew Israelites, the Jews, the real Jew, which are the melanated black people that live on the farther realm outside, which is connected kind of to the movie Black Panther. And so that Saturn is the sun there, and Jupiter is the moon. That's where you get Jupiter, Jews, Peter. So that Saturn matrix is connected to our moon in the sense that everything here is money-based, moon-based. So we have this monotheistic society that is all Saturn worshippers, which is the why Jews or Jewish people are said to control so many things. But it's not the Jewish people that are really doing it. It's the actual Jew, which is connected to what seems like is Saturn and the time and the cube of the box of Saturn, the cube of Saturn, which I'm not going to go into all that. So I mean, you can rehash into those old things I put out, but that's kind of the connection. Is that money, the energy in this realm, connected to the moon and all of that, and even time, months, and all this. Celery is bone food, Mary Mercury, sodium rich, organic sodium, and it's has the same amount of sodium a bone does. Snaps like your bone, it basically looks like your forearm or your shin. Bone food. Yeah, Torin, sorry I missed you when you came down here, man. Whenever you went to the beach and all of the hurricane shit, and yeah, it's too bad, man. But we'll link up soon, man, for sure. For sure, dude. Yeah, brother. $4:44 already? I just missed it. Yeah, Plato. Yeah, that whole pen goat story. Yeah, I've done that plenty of times for people. Yeah, Plato. Yeah, if you get a chance, look into a video I did maybe about a year and a half ago. It was probably a series of like 4 of them, and I think I called them Zen Gems, and one of them I gave the whole story of the house. And I also, one of the first videos I did on the whiteboard, I broke that house thing down with the panels and the electricity, but then I broke it down again with some other language and some other images in a later video. And I think I called them the Zen Gem series, and I think I did 6 of them. So if that's interesting to you. There you go, Plato. That's the quote. Yep. That's for sure. Here's my new hoodie. Haha, Torin, that's awesome. I like that, man. And there you go. Yes. Let me check my phone, see if I gotta go stuff my face with some tacos. Oh my God, there's a dog. Yeah, I wish I could remember the title off the top of my head. I know, but I think it was probably called like Electricity. I think probably put Zen gems in electricity, maybe L's in electricity and things. But I have a very bright, colorful picture image on the screen, like a house and some other numbers and very big and bubbly. And the other older one was when I was doing the blackboard things. Yeah, ghost everywhere. Goats in the system, huh? Yeah, I'm sure. There was I had fun doing those ones. Those was like some old stories that I was rehashing, and trying to tell in another way. There was, I think, 5 different stories, houses, and I did one in the alphabet, and yeah, yep. Oh, Plato, I know that. But you know, again, I put a shit ton of videos out, so, and yes, that is actually a thing, a shit ton. I mean, Mary Curie, and I'll also tell you this, your boy, Brother Truth, Torin, you should check out Brother Truth's website and check out his. I went and heard him speak a couple weeks back, and he knows quite a bit about commercial law, quite a bit about, you know, if you're gonna get a vehicle and all of that. You should check out his work. He got some courses you can get, but a lot of his stuff is on his Instagram. You can check it out, Brother Truth. I think it's just Bro Truth. What's up, Dwayne Stanford? What's going on, man? Did I watch any of the Flat Earth Conference? I dipped into D Marble's broadcast, and then I listened to Jay Dreamers talk about going there. And you know, out of anybody that like I really like find authenticity and genuineness, I really like Jay Dreamers, and he spoke on the conference. I like D Marble a lot, but I think he might be a little, I don't know if he's, how to put it. You know the whole stay flat thing they do? It's kind of culty to me. It's calling culty to me, you know? And whatever shit happened with, like, I guess everybody's favorite, whatever his name is, that some people say he's part of the conspiracy, and that dude came, and then Jake Paul or whatever that fucking guy's name is, he came. I don't fucking know. Like, to me, that was like my last video and my last rant on things like these communities and cults and the lies that are held within them, and how much manipulation and infiltration from people that want to steer an agenda, rather than just like, yo, the shit is flat, B, let's get on this, let's all be on the same page here. The tribe is as big as the whole world if you pay attention. Yeah, thank you. Yeah, but Jay Dreamers is extremely authentic. You can tell in his voice, and you can tell because he still has this, like, he's developing his voice. So it's like a child. A child can't speak like ill, like untruth. So when a child is finding his voice, it will say whatever it wants. And I'm not calling him childish by any means in a negative connotation at all, because he does really great presentation. He's well spoken, but I like what he has to say. And he just spoke about being there and how it got creepy, like it got like so religious. And there was a couple things they did something else about religion, and then your boy, somebody that I used to really like too, What is his name? The dude that used he lost a bunch of weight and then on urine therapy and then got the flat earth thing. Well-spoken dude, but he's kind of like he's tripped lately. He's just on some other shit. He's mad religious, screaming about this and that, like very kind of. It's got a lot of race tension and he speaking out the Bible. Like you're missing some things, homie. But anyways, and you got other people that is like, man, what I mean, like, look, people that are part of these other organizations that infiltrate it, like, so what? So what? If they, as long as you notice and you go, yeah, you're just acting this out, so be it. But you can't let them speak for you or for the community as a whole. There's some people that just like, no, that's not right. I don't see. That's what happens when you get in the community or whatever. If someone says something, they assume you believe that too, when in reality, like, most of the shit out here that's being pushed is not what I would never call myself a flat earther ever. I would never be part of a flat earth community. No, I live in a realm and it's ever growing, ever changing. We probably live in a cosmic egg. We might be, there's too many unknowns and too many variables to just make wild claims about things that you can't substantiate. And that's what a lot of people do. And then you find even within that, there's so many different, like the co-opting by anything religious. Like, keep the religion out of the flat earth. You can't come with us. That's, if you got dogma and you got all that shit, like, you're fucking it up for everybody else. Like, it's not. Flat earth isn't qualifying the Bible, and the Bible ain't qualifying flat earth. Keep your books off our realm. And yeah, you know the hand sign he does, right? That as soon as he did it the first time, I was like, that. I kind of was catching that. I was kind of catching that, like, I don't, that Nazi Hitler kind of shit. Now, I ain't even saying Hitler was wrong or bad or part of it. He might have been part of this secret society too. It might have been part of the bigger game that's being played. He might have been good, he might have been bad, he might have been indifferent, but there was that vibe when I was like, what are you doing why are you throwing that out there like that? That's weird. Like, what? Stay flat? Why would you stay flat? What the fuck does that even mean? See, now we gotta stamp that. We're gonna stamp that on everything. That's too much, man. You're doing too much. Yeah, as Plato, as Terrence McKenna always says, culture is not your friend. The only time culture is good is when you can mix it all together. Like in a sense of, find yogurt that has millions of different cultures in it. Find beer that is using many different kinds of yeasts. Then you'll find your culture, which is everything. What about Globebusters? J Dreamers with a Z. J Dreamers with a Z. His information is really good. I dig him a lot. And he does a lot of things on the Giants, and he breaks down a lot of really interesting things. And he's somebody that, like, I had a lot of respect for, because when he first came out, he was telling people about what was going on with magic, and these BOI people, right, that blood over intent thing, and he was telling people the real deal about what it is, like, basically saying, like, it's not bad, but it's not what you think it is. And I was out there for a while telling people, like, yo, this is, like, you're playing with magic you don't understand. If you got people out here that never even made a sigil, never even understood anything about magic, and then they're out here, like, blood oathing something shit. I'm like, well, you're going too far, homie. This is slow down. You don't even know what magic you're playing with right now. So, and that's when I knew Jay Dreamers was a cool cat, because he was out there battling these motherfuckers. They would come to my channel too, and just, like, I thought there was, like, they would sign, oh, we're in service to everybody, love everything. And they'd be coming to my channel yelling at me, telling me I'm an asshole, telling me I'm a piece of shit, because I was telling people about how magic really works. and he was dealing with the same thing. And so that's when I knew he was real deal, because he was just like, I'm gonna tell you the information. I'm not gonna tell you not to do it. I'm not gonna tell you to do it, but I'm gonna tell you what magic is and how it works. So yeah, the whole Flat Earth conference about recruiting Christians, I've noticed that quite a bit, man. I've noticed that quite a bit, and that's why the whole Christian takeover of it is just so troublesome. And there's a couple of people that have put out videos on that specifically. I put one out just a little earlier today, which was me ranting. You know, as always, within 10 seconds, you got people that are Christians on there already just downvoting it, not listening, because they're part of that cult. So the Christians, which have infiltrated just about everything and ruined just about everything on the planet. Well, now they're trying to fuck up Flat Earth too. Yeah, they be banging people in the head with that shit. Yeah, man, they just the fact that they co-opted it ruins credibility of the action. Like, I thought you were a man of faith. Now all of a sudden people out here doing science, like real science, like, you know, repeatable, observable, all this shit which is like here, observable here. But now you're going to use the Bible to prove that? It doesn't make any sense. They're always like, oh, science is evil. Now they're using science to be on their side to prove Bible, like Christian scientism and all this shit. People just got to put the fucking book down. Put the book down. Yeah, Flat Earther, it just sounds dumb, doesn't it? Yeah. Yep. It's too bad, man. Acid Face, man, what's up, man? Yeah. Crowley out here telling people what's up. He's another one telling people, like, here's real magic. You know, it's like, you never met the dude. You don't know who cares about his personal life? If you think you even knew, you don't know. And that's most people, they don't know. But look, when you start reading what he's writing down and you're looking at it, it's like, what was he exactly doing? He was showing people magic, real magic, and getting, you know, having a life that he enjoyed. I don't know. I haven't quite found the problem with that yet. And on top of it, I never met the dude, but I could read. If everybody just took the covers off the book, took the names off, and just read the words and read the whole thing, well, it's me have a whole different thing. I think that'd be a beautiful thing, a weird thing to do to people. Hand people, well, what's this? I don't know. Read it. There you go. It's about being sensible, using your senses, the things that were God given to you, your senses. That was for you to experience this life with and to use them. In a sense, to tell you pretty clear. Shit is pretty stable out here. Selling a lion. Yeah, dude, flat Earth, another hot underground vegetation. Yeah, right. I know. I knew you were kidding about that. She is a great man, right? Yeah, whatever. You know, it's goofy. It's always characters out here. There's all characters everywhere. Yeah, you know, it's funny, globalist, but like in the real, like the idea of a one world government. I'm not against the aspect of a one world system. I don't want a government, but one world, the way maybe it was back when the Tartarians were helping to expand energy and life and love and what they were doing with all of the free energy. And I think there's probably something really good going on that got buried. So I don't think, in all, I don't think there's something wrong with, because then we can get rid of all the borders, which are a problem. Then we get rid of the states and just have a whole unification, which is a great idea. Yes, there's many pitfalls to it, but there's a lot of good ideas in it. As long as we take the good ideas and then take the shitty stuff and we toss those aside, we learn to be a little more, I don't know, choosy and picky with what aspects of that do we agree with. You can't just as a whole just go like, no, a one world government is a bad idea. It's terrible. You can't just throw it all out. Should there be a government like for every single block? Should everybody? I think everyone should be their own king. Everybody should have their own castle. So maybe we're all our own government. That's fine. I'm much more in that mindset. But for that to happen, I think there needs to be an idea of like everyone's the same. The idea now that we have, there even could be a war between what you'd consider the U.S. corporation and the corporation in Japan is insane. Like, it's not. I don't really believe it happens the way we're told, because if you're already part of if you are part of the larger board of directors of this world or this plane, then you're not fighting. All you're doing is you're play fighting to get people out here scared so they can buy things and just buy into your product. So once you get rid of those borders, I think that helps a lot. As it place melts, flat or not, wouldn't it constantly change shape if the law of vibration is part of reality? Yeah, I think so. I think that maybe if you change yourself totally, have you ever ended up, like, think about it this way: if you've ever been out of body or went to the astral realm, you're obviously vibrating different, because your spirit body is now cast itself out of this skin suit, the space suit. Have you ever went somewhere that is a different shape? I can't say that I've recalled being in any place that was anything other than what appeared to be flat. So that's what I could give you. But yeah, I don't see why not. I'm sure everything is infinite. So sure, you could create an environment that was completely a different shape. I don't see why not. So what was the Earth really a spinning ball 25 years ago? How could you remember? How would you know? Maybe it was, but probably not. It seems like everything's pretty flat to keep, I think there's realms up and down too. And once you can start to levitate and fly, well, something's different then. You can go to a different place. But yeah, I hear you. Yeah, Truth Addict. Daydreamer is a cool cat. I followed him for a few years, maybe 2 years. Yeah, he's wicked. I like his presentations. He's put out a lot of good ones. He put me on some really cool shit. What's up, Truth Addict? Yeah, I like the ideas of, say, what's his name? Jacques Fresco, right? Jacques Fresco. And that whole thing that was really big years back. Remember, everybody knows this. People couldn't understand it. The Venus Project, and how perfectly set out that was, that we should have a resource-based economy, which I think is a higher level of understanding. Resource-based economy, because we surely have. This world is abundant. We have more than enough stuff. We have more than enough to take care of everything. It is changing the mindset and the paradigm of the way people perceive it. Like, Peter Joseph is very awesome, well-spoken, but there was a couple odd things within that whole Venus project. I mean, one, that obviously your boy hated all aspects of, he was a very scientist man. He hated all aspects of what, even, you know, what the books, what religion was, not even understanding that there's an esoteric way to read those books, and there's something actually in there that needs to be considered. And obviously he thought we lived on a ball earth at the time. So there's a few modifications you can make to the Venus project, but all in all, a resource-based economy is what's up. Yeah, and the acid phase melt, the resources arise within us. Yeah, I think that if, you know, you ever need something and you're kind of vibrating in a way that, and all of a sudden it just shows up in front of you. Like I remember one day, I woke up and I was like, I don't know why, I just wanted a lobster roll. I wanted a lobster, like po' boy, like lobster and some bechamel sauce and whatever. And it's not something you find around here because you don't really sell lobster. And literally that evening, I went to a someone's birthday party, and there was a food truck that was selling lobster rolls, and it was so fucking weird. And I didn't get one, but the next day I woke up and I found another place with a lobster roll just walking by. Like it was like it was a weird thing. It was like that was just something that I desired, and it just popped up in reality like twice. So I think there's something that, you know, you resonate something inside of yourself, and poof, it expresses itself out in front of you, which has a lot to do with magic and urine therapy and speeding up fasting and yeah. Let me see what we're looking at here. Speaking of food, let me see what my tacos is looking like. See if I got taco date tonight. One second, y'all. Yeah, Plato, I hear you. Yeah, I hear you. The monetary system is quite. It leverages energy and power into places that should not be. I think there could be a transition to a resource-based economy, but I think that the way that people would have to understand and look at what even a piece of paper, even if it is fiat, I think there's a way of making it more balanced, without allowing for, you know, a few people to just leverage everyone else and lord over them. I think there's a way to get rid of that, and the idea that this is communism isn't quite right, because it must be understood that once you apply a monetary system to something, then all ideas of what you think of as democracy or communism or socialism all go out the window. It all becomes capitalism, and it becomes something quite different, even if it does have the scent of, or it looks a little bit like what you might call socialism or communism, or it's all, once you have a monetary system based upon a capitalist system, everything is really starts to degrade the idea of what actual community looks like, and the idea of community versus commerce is wildly different. So and there you go. That's the question. Yeah. Programmed in a tyrannical system. Yeah. Yeah. The Peter Joseph thing. He got. Yeah. But the idea is nonetheless, like, see, that's somebody, like, it sucks that he's the face of it, but his movies were amazing, and he's on the right path. But his diehard belief in scientism is what ultimately destroyed all things to do with what was the name of the movie again? I don't know why it's not on the tip of my brain. It's just right down the tip of my brain. But like the sense that he was like what he was bringing to it, along with Peter Joseph, just there was, and then what Roxanne Meadows, like there was just nobody else there that should have been at the forefront of like, it's, you know, I remember because that's when it started going. I was like, oh, this is what's up. This is where a good change happens in the world, and then it just vanished. Just what happened to it? What happened to anything to do with that? Selling it. I'm gonna get your name right. Selling a lion. Yeah, you're not over chatting. Don't worry. I'd rather have people typing away in here than not saying anything. It gives me something to look at. And don't worry about that at all, for sure. Yeah, seriously, I'd rather have people typing away. Yeah, oh, Zeitgeist, there you go. Zeitgeist, that's the movie. Phenomenal movies. And they're really like so correct in so many things. And it just kind of vanished. But like rehashing that and getting people like, I remember when I used to tell people about that and they're like, how that could never work. What about all the people that want, you know, everybody would want a Porsche? Like, no, you wouldn't. You'd have a whole different value system. Your values would change. Like when you come at something from a capitalist mindset where you think you went to school already and you already paid your money and you worked for it, then how dare you, you know, that people's attitude is, how dare you share this with anybody else? I've already paid I paid my dues. Why don't they have to pay their dues? That's people's attitude, because they're stuck inside of a capitalist mindset. One second, you know. Nice. Yeah, do I think Zeitgeist was controlled to a certain extent? For sure. The general feeling about the education of Peter Joseph unto himself, even with that name and like the way he talked, it seemed to have been controlled, like in a sense of like it got pretty big and it was doing its thing, and then like yeah, I think so. For what reason? See if people would bite. See if people would go, yeah, that's the truth. You see, I don't know. There's a lot of reasons that anything becomes popular. I mean, that was years ago, man. I'm just thinking about it now because I remember when it started like ramping up. There used to be like meetups every year, and you know, division and chapter people trying to get the information out there, and then it literally just vanished. I mean, maybe it vanished out of my consciousness or out of like just the research I was doing, but I don't know where it went. Oh, nice. Yeah, and then there is that thing too. Is like how can just a few people, you know, like if that's his baby along with, you know, Jock, and I know they split ways too because of some things. So there was like, there's only so much one person can do, especially if you don't have like a dedicated team of people. Like, they're like, well, I don't know how I can pay you right now because there's no money coming in, and my whole goal is to end this, you know, slavery through the economic system. So, like, how can you get people to get on board with that? It's really fucking difficult. What's up, Juniperus? Zeitgeist means time ghost in German. Interesting. So I'm guessing Zeit means time and Geist means ghost. Interesting. Yeah, well, there you go. Then if he said that on the second page, he talked about watching the curve of the Earth through a plane window, then he's immediately you're lying. You're either lying or you fooled yourself. I've been on so many planes. I know I have people filming all the time. There is no observable curve whatsoever, unless you see it through the curved outside part of the window. But even at that, you would see something radically different. So, yeah, right there, you just got to go and bullshit. So it's 100% bullshit. What's up, City? Awesome. Time ghost. That's fun. Zeitgeist. Well, yeah, because I mean, even not connecting it to the German language at the time, whatever it seemed like it meant something to do with like changing of the times, changing what's occurring in the times, revolution, something to that regard. Jonathan Valentine. I don't know, man. That's a really hard one. You know, you got people out here that are really into and study the astrological alignments and the stars and things, and most all of them are pretty much in unison saying that we have dipped over into the age of Aquarius. It's not my specialty, man. As far as feelings about it, while everything is kind of manipulated and dog shit to a degree, I think that maybe the larger thing of astrology, because you know you're made fun of if you pay attention to astrology. You're made fun of, even though behind the scenes, anybody that has a large corporation organization, they're using astrology to build their corporation. I mean, I could teach, you know, I'll teach somebody how to do this right now. You got a business to run, I'll tell you who to hire for which part of the building, for what floor they're working on, for what their job will be, just by their birthday. And then then a little more. I'd have to, you know, check out what their rising sign is, what their moon sign is, and maybe just general personality traits. But yeah, I mean, to think that it's so if it's made fun of, then it's probably pretty correct. And it seems like we've already moved into it. I don't know, man. I would hope so. It seems like it. The water's flat, and that's that. Mary, gonna get that celery, yo. Get them bones in order. Another burp, always. Had a little bit of wine. Tam flower sounds interesting. Oh, you mean like building a business? Yeah. I mean, literally, you can do it by the floors. You can do it by what part of the organization they're working for, whether or not they should be in management or not. I mean, these are all very, very simple reading would let you know. And Plato, I agree with you there. Water, I mean, it is a big thing. Water that is one of the main things people should know about. That's these simple things that if you knew that, like, yeah, water's always level, but then how's that work with the whole Earth thing? You can't answer it, so like, no, fuck it. I got 40 hours of work. I can't think about that right now. I got kids to feed. I gotta I got a weekend, I got a trip planned out, I gotta go fishing, blah, 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 you know? Millionaires don't use astrology, billionaires do. This is fucking right. JP Morgan said that. Yeah, you can use it in many ways. When to invest, when not to. And there's an actual organic clock that's working, and that clock is connected to the cycles and energies, but you can influence those even. Yeah, the really good people in HR, people that are making millions, that those aren't normal people that are working in HR with just, you know, faxing and putting the paperwork, and they're not doing it to help organizations. But in a big enough organization, if they know, like new organizations, they would want somebody on their staff that knew this shit. Like you could seriously turn a corporate, you know, a company that's doing $1 million a year, and you could put the right people in the right places, and it would change the entire dynamic. And they try to figure it out by having somebody do these INTFJ tests, and that's like a lower down version of astrology. Neem, I'm Gemini, and Gemini Sun, Gemini Rising, and I don't remember what my moon is. It's I don't remember. I'd have to look at my chart again. But I'm very Gemini.
Let's talk about sex, baby. Let's talk about you and me. Let's talk about all the good things.
Aquarius is the flame of consciousness, the rebel, and at least to me, people of today are same or more influenced by emotion and groupthink. Yeah. Yes, I've heard you on that about the 3D printing. It could be, and one of the crazier things that I started to see on New Earth channel was the thing about the Renaissance painters and the paintings, and that blew my mind, because basically, if I make it quick, if you don't find brush strokes on these things, and that you see 20 layers of paint, and every layer of paint that they can test it now with lasers, that every layer of paint is 2 microns thick, and the whole thing is, and it's 20 layers built on top of each other, and there are no brush strokes. And right now, printers can't even get anything down below 15 microns. So, and with the paintbrush, you'd have ups and downs and all of this, that these things are literally impossible to do unless they were using basically laser printers, or what she suggests is growing the paintings. Like basically using maybe crystal to grow to a certain point, and then putting another layer of what you call like nano crystal, and to layer it that way. It's, you know, that's pretty mind-blowing shit. And like, oh, this shit was printed, and so could have been printed, possibly. You know, where the whole game was, are they carved or cast? Well, these buildings certainly don't look to be carved. That'd be way too much work. And if you're going to cast something, you know, you would need, no one would destroy the cast for half of these things they make. And some of the things, the way that they're made, you couldn't even make a cast, because there's too many curves and angles and things that you couldn't put it together. So to suggest they were cast is even difficult. So it does seem to be a lot of these buildings were printed for sure. Hey Plato, which video are you talking about? Which one are you talking about? Oh yeah. Well, just go to the New Earth channel. The one about the painting, she doesn't get into that, but that's kind of just what I got into. I would go to, like, I think Conspiracy Are Us and maybe Martin Lidke, and maybe Rebel Without a Pause. And there's a couple more too. But yeah, a lot of them bring up the idea of casting, like casting the things, and it doesn't seem feasible. Because there's just too many of them. You'd have to have too many casts. It's difficult to make a cast, and you can only build a cast that you couldn't have it loop inside, because you'd have to break the cast. If you could somehow make it work and form that way, you'd have to break the cast every time, and so it would be pointless. So you'd have to have, because the point of making a cast is so you can reuse it, and so they wouldn't be able to, because they'd have to break it. So even casting it doesn't seem like it could have been done, and carving it by hand, half of that shit is so fucking insane. Yeah, and all the temples and things, they're too intricate. There's too much. Yeah. 1 second, Joe. I know, isn't it funny, Plato? What if we kept digging down, 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 and all of a sudden we got to a door, and then we opened the door up, and you could drop through, like Super Mario Brothers style, to another realm beneath us. Seems pretty plausible to me. That seems most plausible. And I would say there's something up there too. I would say even if we're in a bubble, whether it's a glass bubble or we're inside of an energetic bubble, like an auric field or like a toroidal field, I still think there could be a density of water above that, where we're inside of a bubble basically, and so we could get outside of the bubble and then swim around in the water and then go up to another level, like Kevin Costner Waterworld, and you're living up there and there's other land up there, and you could do this infinitely in every direction. And so I think that's very interesting and highly plausible too. Yeah, the domes all over the fingerprints of what you'd call the Tatar-Aryan Empire, which are the Armenians and the Tartars. It's basically like Russian, Aryan, and Asian. Pretty interesting stuff. It's all of the definitely different dimensions, up and down, left and right. Yeah, why not? Why not? I certainly think that. So if they say inner Earth, I think it just means under. I think there is. I did a while back when I kind of drew out what I thought it looked like. I think. And I think somebody else did. His name is, I just think I remember his name. His name's Skatalina, Scattinelia. He's a Russian dude. A while back did a breakdown of what the hypercube would look like in the sense of the realm we live. And it was really cool. Anybody know him? Skatalina? I haven't seen him in a while. I'm gonna have to revisit his channel. Skatalina, Scattilena, Skatalina. Let me see if I can find it over here. This is Russian cat. Got it right here. Here you go. It's called Scattineha Hypercube. Darren Nesbitt speaks on it, but the one that Skatalina does, he does one that is Flat Earth 4D, HD, Hypercube, Flat Earth, Sun, Black Holes, and Holograms. And there's one right above it that's Antarctic Warrior that I think took his other model and put it on his channel. He does some really cool stuff. So I get into his work. That's something that I really never shared with anybody because I just thought it was so far beyond anyone wanting to get into or their comprehension, because you would just confuse the fuck out of people. This is like right around when people were kind of getting onto the flat earth thing, and I was like, yeah, you can't really, you know, they're just starting to figure out that the earth might be flat, and then share them an eighth dimensional hypercube. and yeah, that's not a good look for people. They'll confuse the fuck out of them. Scatolina, did anybody get this? Oh, I'm sorry about that.
Is it?
Here we go.
This one?
I'll just show it to you. Can you see this? There it is. This page. His name is Scatolina. SCATTELINHA. And then hype. And you should be able to find his channel. Should be the second one that pops up. And the first one is the second video is the Antarctic Warrior. That the model is really awesome. It's really well done. It's actually the one that Scatolina built. So check that out. Yeah, are you seeing it? I wish I could just type it on here for you, but I don't have a keyboard, and that gets in the way. Let me see if I can figure out how to. I don't know. I've tried it before, but yeah, I don't know why I can't, even on my own broadcast, type on my own computer. I can't do it on my phone either, which sucks. I think it's because I use an Android, and for whatever reason I can't use that. Yeah. He is German. Someone spell that. Did anybody get that? Hey, when I put it up to the screen, was it in reverse for you, or could you see it? Because I'll show it to you again. There's one more time. I'm gonna do this. Let's see. It's not gonna work. There you go. Look at that. We can figure things out. I'm not just any kind of dumb American. Okay. Yeah, Mary Curry. The chatting while you're streaming. What's funny is I could just go on to another. I could go onto my phone and I could chat from there while using this. I've done that before. But I usually only have one of these with me. But you can't. I can't do it on my phone because I think it's Android. I think that's the problem. That is the problem. Anybody remember that Wu-Tang? My father was the Shogun's decapitator. See, the emperor was scared. My father was not scared of the emperor, but the emperor was scared of him. Maybe that was the problem. Anybody know that? Come on. You're knit dumb. Americans. Fucking full on American, homie. I did a video the other day on American. Well, I'm going to do another one on America and Africa. Because if you notice, the root of both of those words is Rika. America and Africa. Rika means rich. Ame means, well, start looking up what the letters AF mean, and then you can find out what Africa means, and then go find out what MAE means. It just means rich soil or rich soul. Ame means soil or soul, so America means rich soil or soul. And Africa, the AF, that's one I wanted to do a little more etymology on, but it has a lot of very interesting hinges to what the AF could mean. He cut off the heads of 100 lords. Thank you, City. Yep. Omni-American. Omni-American. Yes, we live in America. We're American, not American, if you know what I'm saying. Well, Mary Murray, the car. No, I was saying like Rika is the same as in rich in America, and I would say the aft is what you're looking for, like, which also you get like the front of a ship is the aft, but the aft is. There's a lot of languages I would have to look into before I really got to a good definition for that one. But the car would be like the Merkaba. I mean, CA or KA is the same thing, and I don't know that the cat you'd get that. I think you're just talking, even though the cat has that ka energy. What's up, beat bag? What is up, MM? Namaskar. I've never heard that word before, but I dig it. Eureka. You're always trying to get back to cats. Are you a cat? Mary Curry, are you a cat lady? You got cats, or you have a cat, or what? Or you just like the idea of a lot of things are connected to the cat? Which there are a lot of connections to the cat. Yeah, Plato, I don't know, I can't do that right now. Only because I'm about to get off of here, and I'm gonna go on a long diatribe if I start getting into that to break those things down. And I got a taco journey to go on. Oh, you go to cat sanctuaries? That's fun. I made the mistake of one year. I went to the SPCA. I was like, oh, me and my friends got all drunked up on my birthday years ago, and we're like, oh, let's go look at some puppies. And like, what a bad idea that was. We're like, oh my God, there's all these suffering puppies. I was like, I want one. Let's get them all. It was the dumbest idea. We were like, oh, let's go play with some puppies, and then we all started. She was like all sad. We were like, oh, let's save all the puppies. Let's have them all. Yeah, Plato, it's just a lot to get into there. But somebody you might present that question to a little bit is your boy, The Germ, which is, as most people know him, is Arcturus Ra. Yeah, meaning of AF other than as fuck. Roman, I don't know the Simpsons like that, but Eleanor Abernathy, crazy cat lady. Hi, Joey Scott. Tacos will be delicious. Oh, okay. So more formal. Yeah, I mean, I'll just touch on that now, man. I think that's always occurred, and you know, what are you gonna do about it? People are weird. People are creepy. People are, you know, I think when anybody has any kind of light in them, people notice. People pay attention. People want to know, why do you know what you know? And I think everybody to some degree has that, like, shit. You kind of, you know, what do you think's happening when you have an Instagram account? I mean, how many chicks really that they're like putting out pictures of where they're at and what they're doing, and wondering like why the fucking weird creepy fat guy is always around, you know? You know what I'm saying? I think it's creepy, and I think it's weird, and I think it's a product of the system of you know, whatever gangs are, and what, you know, gang life is, being G'd up in these worlds. But you know, it all starts from a place of somebody trying to manipulate and control, and to get something out of that is not theirs, that they didn't earn. But what you gonna do, man? You know, what do you... Fuck it, I'll just join all the gangs. How's that? That's the easiest way to fix it all. I'm gonna join all of the gangs as a world sovereign. Socko's out. Yeah, you want to take all the cats. Well, the thing is, though, with cats will be like, well, thanks for getting me out of here, but I'm out. Peace. Cat's got two fucks not to give. Plato, I hear you on that. Yeah. Mine is like, hey, you know, if you want to see into the life of weird shit that I do sometimes and things that I find interesting, so be it. Like, whatever. It's kind of like, I mean, once I started making videos on here, I'm like, well, this is what you get. Here I am. In all of my idiocy, and all of my glory, and all of my wisdom, and all of my shittiness. This is what you get. You get to see drunk Zen, sad Zen. You get to see screamy Zen. You get to see happy Zen. You get to see teacher Zen. You get to see all the shit. Taco's back weird. Yeah, Taco Cat. Yeah, Taco Cat. Write down Taco Cat. Taco Cat is Taco Cat. Backwards. United the gangs. Warriors. Time to come out and play. Yeah. It's like I was saying earlier. Like, I don't root for football teams, and I don't root for basketball teams. I love the NBA. I love the NFL for the aspect of, like, hey, I don't care if it's all scripted. I don't care that you can figure this out with gematria. It's entertaining to watch. It's just like if you go to a movie. Well, the movie was scripted. Did you enjoy it? Whatever it might have been, just because it was scripted doesn't take away from its ability to, like, enjoy it, or even, you know, it's more made for gambling. But I mean, if you enjoy it, it is entertainment. And anybody that says that they don't want to be entertained is a liar. Everybody likes, you know, some people like to, you know, interact with the world by watching it and live vicariously through others. Some people want to be the the voyeur of the world, and other people want to experience. So I think there's something, I think there's an equal benefit and equal balance there, you know, where like your ass is not 6'8", 240 pounds of athletic prowess, but goddamn, you go and watch a game with them, you know, like motherfuckers that big playing ball, like that's fun to watch. That much control and power, and that's awesome. And if you're good enough to even play anywhere near those people, like that's fucking cool as shit too. But some people, you know, you ain't on that level. You can't even get on the court. Like I played with some decent basketball players. I played with some, you know, very decent basketball players. It's a whole different game. It's not even the same thing. Like playing pickup at the park is one thing. But playing with people that are like excel at their craft, it's interesting to experience. So, you know, from that level of, as I kind of go on a little journey or diatribe into, you know, sometimes it's fun to sit down and watch. And sometimes you like entertaining. Sometimes you like to be entertained. Sometimes, you know, I think that should be understood. So when people get all like, oh, bread and circuses, fuck all of this shit, fuck I don't watch TV, I don't watch the movies, I don't go to sporting events, fuck all that. Like, why not? Like, so what if it's rigged? So what? Everything, your job's rigged, your whole fucking, like everything's all fucking weird. So what? Go enjoy something. Oh, Fire Drake. That's awesome. That I found that so awesome that your cat liked the aroma of the gin, and I've never tried it, but I will. Can you dig it? Can you dig it? Plato. Yeah, I do. I have Skype with people, and I never heard of Viber, but I'll Skype with people. There's some people that have I've got on talks with. I did a I don't know if you've seen it. I did a show the other day with this cat, Tim Tripp, Wisdom Seekers podcast. Check that out if you ain't seen that. And I do one-on-ones with people. I haven't lately. Nobody's really needed me to do any one-on-ones with them, but if anybody wants, I'm happy to do one-on-ones. And I do them for, obviously, I do them for free, but you know, if you can throw a little currency in my coffer for a one-on-one session, I'm happy to do it. So I always put, I haven't said that in a while to people, but it should be known that my email is beneath most of my videos, so you can always get in contact with me. All right, acid face. Oh, she liked the Jaeger. Ah, interesting. I wonder if she liked the sweetness in it, because there's an extra sweetness to the Jaeger, you know. Hey, look at what time is it? 5:55, right on time. Podcast, yeah, check that out. The audio wasn't great because I was at a bar, but I think it got the job done, and it was fun. It's the first time I've done two podcasts, but the other one I didn't enjoy the room that I was in. It was kind of weird, and so I dipped out. But I've had other people ask me to do shows. This is the first time I've said yes, because I was just like, fuck it. I was like, this dude seems cool. Let's see what happens. And I've never met him before, and just got on to Skype and did that. So if you guys know anybody that has a decent channel, or even not even a channel at all, I'm happy to, even if somebody wants to just get, you know, start making videos or whatever the fuck, I'm happy to do live chats with people. And if anybody's got wants a special guest of Zen on, maybe I'll just start doing that, because why the fuck not? I'm supposed to be doing one soon with Brill Lightyear. We'll see what happens there. The gin was clean. Yeah, good gin is good, man. Well, of course, Plato. I will. Yes, coins in the basket are great. Thank you. If you do. I like a fire jack. I like that because you know what's funny is Mayan Jin always anytime he can he'll turn something that like he'll instead of saying genius he'll say he'll spell it degenius, right? And he'll always kind of do that. And I think it's funny whenever like put Zen instead of synchronicity. Synchronicity. I can't even say it. Yeah, that's clever. So what else? Anything we can dig into here? I have a few more minutes. I probably got 5 minutes. So any last questions? I might get on later after my taco expedition. We'll see. Oh, and I'll let you all know here, because there are some people that haven't been around in a while. I might do a retreat in New Orleans on March 1st. And this I'm just kind of tossing out there, see if I get any feedback from people, because somebody else had asked me if I'd be willing to host one, and I said, well, if you can kind of put it together, I'll see if there's any kind, anybody interested. And interestingly enough, it's right after this happened. Cortese, if you know, used to go by Corey Birth, Cortese, he's going to be down here. So, and I'm trying to get Mayan Jin to come down, and if y'all want to do like a retreat or whatever down here, I'd be happy to like organize something if I can get enough feedback. Organize something, put a little retreat together, and we can do. You can learn from me personally in real time, and I don't know, maybe we'll fast or do some weird shit. Who knows? Thoughts on angels? Niam. I think everyone is an angel. I think there's higher levels to it, meaning I think there are people that are surely energetically from a different realm that put themselves in this realm that you can kind of dip out of a higher realm into a more dense realm, which is I think what you'd call angelic, and you can find people that are in lower realms, which I think you'd call demonic, that can get out of their body or their realm and go into a higher realm. I think that's about the size of it. So I think everybody has demon and an angel in them. So I think everybody has that kind of an angel is an angle of light, and I think everybody has spirit, and I think spirit is connected to angels and demons. So I don't there's certainly people that have more awareness of what being they are or where they come from, and there's more intelligent people. Like the more intelligent you are, the closer you become to what somebody might call an angel, I think. And the mud floods. Fire Drake. Yeah, look, keep looking into that, man, because from when I seen it, it's just so very obvious that those were never those bricks were put over those things used to be windows, or used to be like it's so very clear to me, having built structures in my life. And especially when you can see some of these where they've actually dug out the building, and you could see that there were windows there, and they were just bricked over. And I've put enough time into it and looked at enough pictures where it's glaringly obvious. It's one of the most obvious things you'll ever see. Especially whenever you find these little, like there's like New York City, Philly, all of these other places where you gotta walk down like a half flight of stairs to go into what would be considered almost the basement. It would make no sense ever. You would never want, because there's snow everywhere, you'd be getting water in there. It's no one would build things that way. So it's one of the biggest things when you really get into it. It's gonna, it just all of a sudden just go, oh, yep. What's up, Silk Lust Jesus? There you go, Fire Drake. Angelic demons demonstrating angles and patterns, cyclical realms and elliptical realities. Yeah, I hear you, Plato. Yeah, I mean, it's not like that. I mean, word prostitution, you know. Yeah, it's always like, even if you never talk to me, if you want to, if you threw some ducats in there, whatever. And if you don't, you don't. But there's people I've talked to that haven't, you know, my word prostitution. I didn't get anything. My words weren't good enough. I didn't lubricate them enough, I guess. Yeah, I hear you, Plato. The organs and fireplaces are out of fucking control for sure. I hear you, Plato. Yeah, Roman. That's exactly what it seems to be for me, and it goes back to Neville Goddard's work and him saying, "God became man so man could become God." You were in a realm where everything was so light and perfect and bright that you put yourself into density or into a sleep or a slumber, which is basically density, meaning you still have the capabilities of doing all of that, but there's a time delay, and that's what we have inside of time, or Saturn's cube. If it get more esoteric, that's where that connection to Saturn and time and Father Time comes from. But all in all, like, I think you go back to being full-on God again very, very soon. I mean, obviously you are, to a degree, quite readily a god of your own dream world and the astral realms. And I'm sure that doesn't take too much to do that here, too. Yeah, the organs are super crazy. Fire Drake, I never seen those. Send me whatever link that is, because I've never seen that. Somebody had said something to me about that before, but I mean, the connection to the scepter and the fascia, or the fasces. I made a video a long time ago on what the scepters were used for and why kings wore crowns. So there's a very big connection there. The kings, the crowns, the jewels, and then why the scepter and the vibration. Check out the video I made on it, but basically it's the reason coins were in the people's pockets would be filled with coins that were made of different materials, and those different materials lined up vibrationally to certain things that they could do with the energy devices. At least this is what it appears to me. And this is where somewhat of the takeover of the certain lower class citizens came about, was the coins. First it was the salt, then it was the coins, where before that the energy was used as a free system, and then something happened. That somebody got a hold of the fascia or the scepters, and then used it in an ill way, let's put it that way. That's what it appears though. Yeah, Fire Jake, have fun with all that, man, because that took me on a good, I don't know how many hours I put into that research and all that, but yeah, I spent some time watching those videos. Yeah, Inception's a great one. I've been in some Inception dreams too, where it's this, the reality is this real, but then I knew that I was sleeping in my bed, and then was in my second realm, and I went to sleep in that one and ended up in a third realm, which was, I could hold on to that there. I could hold on to the awareness that I was sleeping here and then also sleeping in another realm and still walking around functioning in the third realm. But then I went to the fourth level, and that's when things just became, it was yeah, like how do you even start to wrap your head around that? John Schumann. Oregano oil is great stuff. DMSO I did not prefer personally. I know it does a lot of good for people. I just didn't prefer it. You know, at the time I probably used too much, but oregano oil is great. Yeah, so DMSO is up there. Cool, man. That sounds like a good path right there for sure. I always feel best when I fast during the day. Like I haven't like today I fasted and I feel much better than I do whenever I eat during the day. Once you eat, and all of a sudden you kind of lose your energy. You start digesting food in the day. I don't like it. I always feel better when I fast during the day. And then the addition of either microdosing things and using different herbs and things, yeah, that's the way to go, man. Waking life is great. Play-Doh, I did a video on that a while back. It was right around the time I did one on Faraday cages, I did one on Tesla coils, I did one on scepters. I think you should look up my name in scepters, and if you can't find it, obviously feel free to hit me up on my email, theoluminous. Yeah, there was about 3 videos I did. I think you'd probably find it in one of the collections of my videos that say like Essential Zen or Master Teaching or something like this. You'll see it. You'll see like there'll be like a magician's hat and coins and different things and the image there. So if you can't find it, let me know. It's probably from about a year and a half ago, if that helps too. Brandon Esteban. Peter and Pete just didn't. I couldn't get through a whole video. So check it out, y'all. I'll just leave it with that. I couldn't get through a whole video of theirs. I felt like there was some sort of like, I don't know, like Laurel and Hardy kind of weird. It was a weird vibe to me. I couldn't like, I don't need to spend an hour and a half to figure out what the fuck they're saying. It was just too much, man. They might be excellent and they might be right about a lot of the shit that they're sharing, but I couldn't. I'll try again, and somebody else put me onto them and I just couldn't get into them. I'll try it again though, because some of the topics are very interesting. Like but I usually go off my gut instinct, and I wasn't vibing with what they were doing. Something seemed a little off to me. That was the first feeling I got. But I could be wrong. I could have had a bad meal that day or something. But check it out. I gotta go get tacos, guys. This has been fun. I hope you guys enjoyed yourselves. And let me just go through here. Yeah. All right, y'all. Have a beautiful day. Go find yourself a puppy or an orangutan if you're into that kind of weird shit. I don't know. I think a puppy's gonna be better. The orangutan might be too powerful. Or maybe an alpaca, as always. I think go play with them, and go find an animal to pet or something, you know. And have a beautiful night or day, and maybe I'll see y'all later. Peace out, y'all.